Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to Omar Talks Football with a special episode of Rival Talk with my man like football carnage in the building. My guy looks like he's still, recovering mentally from that El Clasico L, but,
I already forgot
we
about
should.
it. I already forgot about it.
Hey, listen, man,
It's
listen,
out of
we
my
learn.
mind.
Hey, listen, I'm just saying. Hey, listen, all I see is the meme of like the face and the guy crying in the mask and the face. That's what I'm seeing right now. Listen, man, you can't
Bro.
pull the wool over my eyes, man. I know, man. You still, it is what it is, man. But look,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
obviously, man, we won the Super Cup, and it's obviously it's a classical defeat. You're never gonna take it well. I didn't take it well when we lost to you guys in October, so I get it, right? But dude, I mean, the defeat now, it seems like it's taking a back seat now with everything that's been going on this week, right? It's crazy, Will, right? The amount of stuff like that's been coming out of Real Madrid. Obviously, the big thing being your manager being sacked, right? I mean, you were one of the people that you really you give him an opportunity. I'll give you that. A lot of people can say whatever they want, but I know that you backed the manager when he arrived. You really wanted it to work. You had a lot of expectations on him, and I did see your reaction after the game against the Barca. You kind of reached your limit with him, and just like that, it seems like they just saw your video and they were like, "What? No problem, man. We
Yeah,
got
yeah, yeah, man. Perez listened. Perez listened, bro. That's what happened.
you."
Yeah, bro. I'm be real. It was time. I do
Mm,
think the reasons though that I'm seeing for him being sacked, I don't like. It's because it doesn't really seem like it has much to do with on the field performances. Doesn't seem like it has to do much with the fact that we bottled the lead that we had in La Liga, right? It seems more so like it's about what was going on in the dressing room. That to me, I have a problem. And for that, I don't blame Xabi Alonso. I blame the manager. Sorry, I blame the players, I mean. And I
mhm.
blame the board, Perez and the guys that kind of dictate these things. I feel like these players have been allowed to do things without properly being punished. And now, when they don't respect the manager because the club is backing them over the manager, now you have a situation like this. Remember that first El Clasico when Vinicius threw a tantrum when he was taken off? Everybody was thinking that that was a bad sub. Yes, at the end of the day, it's the manager. It doesn't matter. If he says you're done, you're done. If you
Right,
have a problem, you go talk to him after the match in the locker room without the cameras. You don't
right,
do that publicly. You don't undermine him openly. What did Real Madrid do? Nothing. They didn't bench him. They didn't fine him. They didn't suspend him. Nothing. He released a weak apology, didn't even include Xabi Alonso in that. And the club just said, all right, that's fine. Back to regular. Now the other players are going to be thinking to themselves, hold on now. The board not backing this manager. So if we don't want to listen to him, there's not going to be any problems. This is why you see after the Spanish Super Cup, Xabi Alonso is saying, let's go give the guard of honor. He waves them over.
yep,
Mbappe waves them back. All the players go with Mbappe. Even though I don't agree with
right.
giving the team a guard of honor. I think
Okay.
it's nonsense. Does
Mm,
not matter. The manager
mm,
said to do it. You go
mm.
do it. I think these things have led to Xabi Alonso getting frustrated, and I think this is what ultimately led to his meeting with Florentino Perez and Jose Angel Sanchez with him
Right.
walking away. Because I think Xabi Alonso was put in a very tough predicament. But for what we were seeing on the pitch, I think it was time to go. But not because the players had issues with him. I think that's a bunch of nonsense that the club allowed to go unchecked. So that's how I see it, bro, to be honest with you.
No, I completely understand. And look, obviously, I've seen so many different things come out, right? But before I actually talk about those things, I just want to just get into the things you just said, right? Which is something that I 100% agree with. Even as a rival, right? There are certain things that you look at and you're like, as a fan, as a rival fan, I like the fact that this is happening because these players are undermining the manager, and that is not a good thing. You never want to feel like the manager is being undermined. I remember when we had Valverde in charge. That's how I felt. I feel like a lot of the players, Valverde couldn't really look them in the eye and tell them when they were not doing enough. And that's why I didn't want him eventually. I wanted him gone, bro, after his first season when he nearly went invincible. I was done. Because I could tell, brother, this guy, he looked like a pushover. He looked like one of those guys who he could never look Messi in the eye and tell him the truth. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I need a manager like Enrique, who was there before, who can look at every player in the eye and doesn't care if you fall out with him. Because I remember that happened with Enrique with Messi. In that year, we won the treble. People don't remember this. But it got so bad that Messi and Enrique were not talking. Xavi Hernandez, who was still in the team, had to be the peacemaker. Sat these two down and actually make peace with them. Because Enrique was standing on his ground and Messi was standing his ground. And I respected Enrique for that. Because even though Messi is Messi, brother, you got to stand up for yourself as a manager. You understand what I mean, right? And in the end, there was mutual respect. I think in the end, Messi even respected the fact that, Enrique didn't just, he stood his ground, because it made him realize, okay, this guy, he can stamp his authority. You understand what I mean, right? He can say anything he wants to say to people to their faces. And that is the thing at Real Madrid. I'm going to be very real with you, Will, right? You know me. I can be shameless, but I can also be real when I need to be, right? This whole situation, I knew it wasn't going to work out when I started seeing guys like Vinny throwing tantrums. Because it's just like you mentioned. It's the best analogy. I used this analogy on the Chaos show. I said, your team right now, this Madrid squad, they don't strike me with fear because the Madrid squads of the past, they were lions, but also they had managers, or they respected whatever the manager told them. When Mourinho was in charge, Mourinho was the one that was telling these guys, yo, I want you to kick the ever-living crap out of these players. And you know what happened, bro? Those players would go get red cards every game because they were listening to the manager.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean, right? And at the end of the day, this is a world-class players. You had Ronaldo there. You had all these guys there. They were all committing tackles, doing whatever Mourinho told them to do. Because, yes, you had a manager there who was a character, who wasn't afraid to look any player in the eye and tell him, yo, do this job or you're out of here. You understand what I mean, right?
Yeah.
And Perez, to be fair, around that time, Perez, he backed Mourinho. He saw what Mourinho did at Inter against Barca and said, yo, you got the keys. Do whatever you want, bring any players you want, do all of that. And because of that, eventually, he was able to dethrone Pep Guardiola within 2 seasons of being at Real Madrid. That invincible, incredible Barcelona team. He did it his way. And that is the issue right now. I don't see the same thing with this kind of Madrid team. Right now, what the Madrid team I'm looking at right now, Will, you didn't see this team, but I'm old enough because I got into the game very early, as you know. I got to see the aftermath of like the old Galacticos, because I got into the game, I got into the footballing game around the end of that Galacticos era. And I'm telling you, Will, it was a mess. Brother, you guys had an all-star team and no one wanted to play for each other because everybody felt like they were the main man. And you had no managers that could control them. Eventually, Florentino Perez had to resign because he realized, yo, I get these guys way too much power. I can't control these guys anymore. They got it in their contracts. I gave them all these ridiculous contracts because of shirt sales, because of all this BS. And I'm like, brother, I'm seeing the signs again. I don't know. Like, you're like, bro, is this guy, I don't know what's going on with Perez. Is he gotten older and kind of had dementia?
Nah, do you know like what the thing is? I think that Florentino Perez, I think he's a great businessman.
Right.
But I think when it comes to squad building, right? I feel like Perez isn't necessarily the best at squad building, right? Now, when you look at Real Madrid's squad, I believe we still have one of the best squads in the world.
I agree.
But it's very unbalanced. It's too many players that are overlapping. For example, I have 3 left wingers. I have no striker. I have no pure right winger. But I have 3 left wingers, right? Midfield. How many 10s do I have right now, brother? Jude, Arda, Brahim, Franco. Who's coming back in the summer? Nico Paz. Where does he play? The 10. That's 5 guys. Now, to be fair, obviously, Brahim Diaz is not going to be a starter. Franco is still a youngster. He shouldn't be starting. But point is, we have a bunch of players in that position. Modric leaves. Toni Kroos leaves. You don't get a deep-lying playmaker. You don't get a controlling midfielder. It's been very publicly made open that Xabi Alonso won his Zubimendi. This is your manager.
I just saw that before we came.
This is your manager. No, but even in the summer, remember, we know
I saw
that.
Apparently, I was just reading it again before we came.
Because remember, like, we knew.
Yeah, he was very upset that they didn't sign Superman.
So here's my thing. This is your manager. You picked him to come into Real Madrid. Right. The guy asking you for this midfielder that he's worked with, mind you. Remember, he was at Sociedad
when he was in
so he knows his qualities. Mm-hmm. He knows what he can bring.
Yeah.
You telling me, of course, we could have hijacked that deal. He would have.
Of course.
I'm pretty sure he would have preferred to be in Spain than go to, like, England. You don't back him with that, right? Mm-hmm. Look at the defense. You bring in Housen. Fair enough. I like Housen. But clearly, the guy is not ready, right? He's not ready to be a defender that's leading the line, right? Now, yes, you have Militao, Rudiger, Asensio, but come on. Militao can't stay fit. Rudiger is washed. You should have brought in another center back, right? Mm-hmm. The fullbacks. Trent, okay, free. I like that, but he's injured. Carvajal, injured. Valverde could do a job there. Left back, you bring in Alvaro Carreras. But point is, when it comes to squad building, Florentino Perez is not the best at it. Business-wise, he knows how to generate money. He knows how to sell shirts, right? Real Madrid now going to be 3 seasons straight. The only club, 3 seasons, $1 billion plus in revenue. On that end, phenomenal. But brother, we are suffering on the pitch. And then this policy of no transfers in January. When look at Man City. Look at what they did last January, bro. They just signed Semenyo. And now they're trying to get Mark Gahey. We need a defender. Mark Gahey is available because, let's be real, Palace, they probably want money versus losing him for nothing. Look at Ruben Neves, holding midfielder, deep line playmaker, available for 10, 15 million. Nobody's saying to go drop 90 million and get Saliba. No. Nobody's asking for a Galactico in January. But when there's holes in the squad, the January window is there to help you prepare for the second half of the season. If there's a market opportunity, take advantage. I think there's just a bunch of problems at this club, brother. But for me, the discipline is just the biggest one. And if the players don't respect the manager, they need to respect the president. If Xabi Alonso is Florentino Perez's guy, that should be enough for these players to shut up and listen. But I guess not, bro. I guess not. So we're in a weird situation now because if they didn't respect Xabi Alonso, you think they're going to respect Arbeloa, a career backup. Arbeloa is nobody. Xabi Alonso was a very highly regarded midfielder. Has done more for Real Madrid than Arbeloa.
And he's done well as a manager too. He's got a resume, won the Bundesliga invincible. The guy has done things as manager. So, and he's got potential. This is the thing with Alonso. He's still not reached his peak. We could still see the best of
I think Alonso. He's going to go.
Yeah,
Omar.
To like a Liverpool. Alonso he might go to a Liverpool after slot and just cook over there.
At Liverpool or Man City. Watch.
And that is the thing.
I think he will cook at his next club.
He will, and that's the funny thing because over there he's gonna be given the freedom, like you mentioned.
But they don't have the egos like we do, bro.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. I've seen Madrid when Florentino Perez has let managers do their thing. Even when Zidane was there, when Zidane won that first UCL, he was never coming out buying the players. During that time when you guys did the trip, remember, you guys would not sign any like world-class players for like 50, 60, 70 million, 80 million. No, you were going out getting players to either be backups or maybe, be under the sign like the Valverde's. Like Valverde, you guys signed Valverde during that time. You understand what I mean? Like you signed Vinicius, who was at Flamengo. You guys signed him for the following season when Ronaldo left, right? You did all of those things. Real Madrid have shown a few times, and this is the thing. When Madrid have made smart signings, they have actually cooked. If you think about it, in 2010, when Mourinho came in, you know who Mourinho signed when he came in? He brought Ozil. He brought an Ozil, Khedira. Those are the two main
Khedira.
ones. Khedira, right? He signed a few other players, but those two mainly. Let me just talk about those two. Ozil had just come from the World Cup. Yes, he was cooking in the World Cup, but it's kind of like the James Rodriguez thing, right? Where, James Rodriguez was incredible, but let's be real, he didn't really show levels when he went to.
It was only like one season where he really cooked.
Yeah, exactly.
His first one.
Yeah, he just had one good season, and under Zidane, he kind of was benched for Casemiro because he preferred.
Yeah, well, no, for Isco. Remember, for Isco.
Yeah, but Isco, but mainly that midfield because he wasn't playing much tens because at the time Isco was playing on the right, if you remember. That's why.
Yeah. Sure. Bro, yeah, so, I remember Zidane dropped Bale. You remember? Yeah, you remember, bro? Bale was holding bench. 100 million signing.
Remember? And Bale was holding the record before Neymar broke it. So he was benching the war record signing. And guess what? At the time, no one said nothing. No one, not Perez.
But do you think that has to do with Perez, or do you think that has to do with it's Zidane? Because remember, Zidane's one of the greatest players of all time. But so remember, a lot of these guys would have looked up to him, so they wouldn't dare to question him, right?
There's a bigger thing also than that. He came in after Ancelotti and won. No, Benitez. He came in after Benitez and won the Champions League. Instantly, he won the Champions League literally within months of being in charge. And then came the following season, won the league and the Champions League in the 2017 season.
Now, but you know what it is though, Omar? Funny enough, I should have known that Xabi Alonso was going to fail because, and I always use this analogy, but whenever you have to replace a legend, it doesn't work out right away. Normally, right? Like you said, Zidane didn't take over for Carlo, right? Zidane took over for Benitez, right? Yeah. Then after Zidane, what happened? Lopetegui failed, right? Then they end up bringing back Zidane, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they brought him back.
They brought him back after, because remember, it was Lopetegui, then Solari, Zidane. Then they brought in Carlo after Zidane's last season, went trophyless, whatever. Yeah. And then now, after Carlo, who's the most successful manager at Real Madrid, then you bring in Xabi Alonso. So it's kind of like big shoes to fill. Maybe I shouldn't be as surprised that it just did not work out because that just generally is not how it works. Like look at football, bro. Just like look at it. No, at Manchester United.
I get you, but I don't necessarily agree in this point because here's the thing with Alonso. He was coming as an up-and-coming manager. It wasn't like, when you guys got rid of Lopetegui. Let's be real, right? Lopetegui wasn't pulling any strings, respectfully. The guy was managing the Spanish national team. Which you can do well with the Spanish team. That's fine. But we all know, club football, international football are not the same.
It's different. Yeah.
You understand what I mean, right? So no one was really looking at Lopetegui and thinking, they just hired one of the best managers. With Alonso, you guys were hiring one of the upcoming managers. So there was expectation. They were like, okay, well, listen, we've seen him dethrone Bayern Munich. That is an incredible achievement in the Bundesliga. Like now, the teams, bro, they've been packing up that league for almost 12, 13 years.
Yeah, bro.
That's my point. So that is a great achievement, right? And like I mentioned, right? Like don't get it twisted. I know and you know, right? As a Madrid fan, it was not about all being great for Alonso. That's right. But it's like the part that you mentioned, right? This is his first season. There's a lot of players in here who down-tooled under Ancelotti too. So if you're looking at it, and I'm always like, bro, if you've seen these same players do the same thing last season, why would you back the players over the manager when you've seen these players fail before? This is the same thing what happened with Flick when he arrived. I remember I was saying, bro, it doesn't matter what he does that season. I am not blaming him on anything because I saw these players down-tooled under Xabi. And then guess what? The whole fan base agreed with that statement. A lot of these, all of the Barca fan base, no one was looking at Flick. We were looking at Flick saying, dude, just keep us challenging. That's all we want. We just want a challenge, right? Just give us that. We did not expect to win the league, bro. We saw you guys, Mbappe just won the double. We were thinking, these guys, they're good. We are coming from a trash season. But guess what? These players, because the pressure was on them, now we're looking at them like, okay, we have Flick now. We're going to see which players to survive on a Flick and those who need to leave. And guess what? Every player performed because they knew the eyes were on them. These players, these kind of Madrid players there's not enough eyes on them, bro. Yes, some players, people are criticizing them, but the attention should be on the players specifically. Guys like the Vinnies, it's been 2 seasons now. Like last season, you dropped off from the season where you almost won the Ballon d'Or. Everyone's like, okay, cool. This season, let's see what you do. Bro, you have not improved much this season either. And you always, the biggest things we've seen from Vinny this season is his tantrums. That's not a good thing.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean, right?
True.
And that's the thing. And then you're looking at the Mbappe problem with Vinny, where you've got two players who do literally the same thing. One player is being played out of position. Clearly, it's not working. One of them got to go. You understand what I mean, right? And it's causing a divide. And that is the issue. And with this whole thing with Alonso being sacked, brother, I'm telling you right now, Will, for your sake, you better hope that this is not a sign of what is to come, because I'm telling you now, I've seen guys like Jude come out and deny that the players, they didn't
Well, no,
overstep
he said
the
he
manager.
didn't have a problem with the
Yeah,
manager.
because Madrid zone kind of threw him under the bus. They were
I mean,
saying
well, to be
him,
fair, right? Like
Aguero,
Madrid
and
Zone,
Vinny.
Madrid Extra, they don't make up news. They just put out, like, that's why they always list the source that put they just
That is what
repost
I
the
mean.
news.
That's why I use them as a quote, because I know
Yeah.
they don't just spit a narrative. They actually go and actually research these things. That's why I was mentioning that, because they mentioned Vinny, they mentioned Jude, and they mentioned Valverde.
Valverde.
Those are the three players that they said were, and people tried to put Mbappe there, but apparently Mbappe was one of the few ones that was actually like in support of the manager, despite what happened in the Super Cup.
Yeah.
So for me, I look at that, I'm like, brother, the fact that there are players who feel so entitled that they feel like they should be complaining about stuff. Like, brother, you're playing for Real Madrid. I'm sorry. If a manager comes in after Flick, I don't care who it is, right? Whether you're Yamal or Pedro, whoever you are, yes, you are incredible players. But brother, it would be a cold day in hell before I ever see a player tell a manager what to do. Because the moment I see Yamal telling the manager what to do, brother, I want that manager sacked. I'm done. Because dude, you either that or I'm pointing the finger at the board. I'm
Yeah,
pointing the
because
finger
you
at
allowed
Laporte.
the situation to get to like that point.
Yes.
And I agree. This is why I think Florentino Perez, he's a big problem for what's going on. I think Florentino Perez, you have to set that example, because let's be real, Florentino Perez is the guy at Real Madrid. What he says goes, right?
Right.
He needed to set the tone that, like, after that El Clasico. I'm telling you, if he disciplines Vinny, I don't think we're in this situation right now.
I agree.
I don't
Set
think
an
so.
example. Set an
Yep,
example.
you have to make it, because maybe there were problems behind the scenes, but before that, we didn't know. No. But now, once
we
you
were
do
hearing
that
rumors,
in the
but
public,
there was really nothing. There was
nothing. Now, once you
rumors
do that publicly, he should have been made an example of, right? You dox him a week's worth of pay. The next match, you're out the squad, right? The next match after that, you're on the bench. Then the match after that, you can start again, right? Like, there needs to be structure. It's like having a child, right? Like, and I'm pretty sure that you have like younger cousins or, siblings, whatever. But you know how kids are. They try and see what they can get away with. They want to see, well, if I don't know, stay up past my bedtime. Like, my mom said go to bed at this time, but I stayed up and watched TV anyways. What's she going to do? Now, if you get caught and your mom says, nah, no big deal, you'll do it again and again and again. But if you get caught and now, you know what I'm saying, you're feeling this hot leather on your backside, next time she say go to bed, guess what you doing? Taking that ass to bed. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, and this is how, because remember, these players are young. They're young 20-year-old millionaires. They need that discipline, because in other aspects of life, they can do whatever the hell they want. But when they come back to the club, they need to know that they are employees. They're not the boss. It goes manager first, player second. If you truly believe in Xabi Alonso, you back him. You don't let any player disrespect him, ever. That's how I view it. So this is why Florentino Perez, he holds a lot of blame here, because he sets the tempo for what goes on at this club. So he has to hold smoke, bro. He does. But, Omar, I do want to ask you, bro, how do you think Arbeloa will do? Because I don't have any expectations.
What I was going to talk about. So, I don't really expect much from him. But I feel a lot of you Madrid fans are saying, Arbeloa now is here, the league. The expectations kind of really went to the floor.
I'm backing him, by the way.
No, and at the end of the day, I respect that, right? At the end of the day, if my manager got sacked and someone else took over, like a Marquez, I would back him, right? At the end of the day, I'm never gonna be negative and be like, get a new manager, this and this. Obviously, I want a new manager, but support the team, support the manager, and all that. I hear that, right? And look, This guy has been a Castilla. Apparently, he's been doing quite a good job there. I've been reading some stuff about him since yesterday, right? So apparently, he plays a gegen press style of football. So it's like energetic, high intensity style of football.
Yep. Fast.
If that is the way he's gonna play with Madrid now, I think that with this Madrid team, yeah, you can play that because you guys have a lot of players like Divini who have explosive pace. Rodrigo has that explosion. Mbappe, we know, has that explosiveness in attack, right? Even guys like Adagula, right? Maybe he might give more opportunities to those guys. Bellingham, I don't know much about Bellingham in that kind of style, but then again, he did play for Dortmund, who are known for playing the gegenpressing, so he's played that style before. So I'm really interested. I haven't really seen what he can do as a manager yet, so I'm gonna definitely keep my eye on the game against Albacete, which, funny enough, I heard that his Castilla team actually lost to, but then again, it's the Castilla team. So
yeah. And I think Albacete are in the second division.
Yeah,
Castilla are in the third. So I mean, look, like they're a different level, right? I mean, look, they also have Jesus Vallejo, so that's going to be interesting. And they also do have another academy player that we had, Aguado, who was at Real Madrid last season, and now he's there. So I mean, look, we'll see. I definitely don't think
team that's kind of built to get to the league, basically.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think. Well, but the thing is, they're not that good. They're sitting 17th in the Segunda, right? So, but I don't think we're gonna go there and dominate. I don't expect us to score 5-6 goals. I think we'll win. I think it'll be like
a 3-0.
No. I think they'll score. Funny enough, I think they'll score. I think it'll be like a 3-1, right? Maybe a 4-1. Maybe. I think we'll go through. But I'm backing this manager, and I hope that he gets the job permanently at the end of the season.
Well, because he would have done a great job if he
exactly. And he has the first chance at proving himself, right? This is the biggest opportunity of his life. I hope that he's able to, because he can only surprise us.
Right.
You know me. I said
it's like the Zidane thing. It's like I remember when you guys had Zidane. Zidane when he came in, no one expected.
Bro, I remember people were saying back then, oh, they're only giving it to him because who he is, and it's just.
I remember I was one of them.
I mean, of course, you know.
I was watching it like.
No, I mean, but of course,
Ancelotti and on the Benitez, I was like,
yeah. I mean, but of course, Zidane is Zidane, right? Like when he walks into a room, no player's gonna talk back to him. Are you mad? This is Zidane that we're talking about. It's like if Messi becomes Barca's manager.
Hey, I know, right?
Not one player would even breathe the wrong way if Messi was the next manager at Barca. You know what I'm saying, right? So, but in terms of Arbeloa,
Xabi had that. That's why we won the league in 23. I think
that's true.
Because he's Mr. Barca. Everyone knows Xabi Hernandez, Barcelona. So you knew you always had to, lower your tone, bro. You can't.
Yeah, for sure, because of what he's done. But when it comes to Arbeloa, I hope that, again, I have no expectations. I don't expect us to win a trophy. My main thing is what I will consider a good job for him is, bro, just make sure that we finish that in that top 4, which sounds crazy as a Madrid fan.
Oh, my days.
But just make sure that we're in the Champions League. That, to me, if he can just do that and then he leaves in the summer, fair enough. But I hope he gets the job permanently because that means he shocked us. That means Barcelona might have bottled La Liga and Arbeloa won it. Or Arbeloa did a madness.
And won the Copa del Rey or the Champions League.
One Copa del Rey. I wouldn't keep him if he wins Copa del Rey. I'd be happy.
It depends on how he wins and also how he does in the league. So let's say
I don't know.
Let's say he takes the title race all the way to the final day and wins the Copa del Rey.
How did we go out?
You guys have played beautiful football. Let's say the high pressing football starts.
How did we go out like in the Champions League?
So let's say, Champions League. Okay, let's say the Champions League, you guys get knocked out quarterfinals.
By who?
Against Bayern Munich. I mean,
was the aggregate respectable?
Are one of the favorites right now on form.
No. Okay, was the aggregate respectable?
Okay, if it's respectable.
All right.
Let's say you guys lose like 3-2 on aggregate. Let's say you guys win the first
yeah.
And then you lose 2-0 at the Alliance or something like that.
Okay. I would think about it, but Copa del Rey isn't enough for me to really say give it to him. Now,
yes.
we win La Liga. Let's say we go to the Camp Nou. Let's say we slap you. Yeah, Arbeloa is making the right stuff. Let's just say, hypothetically, right? And we win La Liga. I'm sitting here saying, wait, hold on now. Since this brother's come in, we're playing free-flowing football. Mbappe and Vinny are working. Jude is cooking. The players are adapting. Why not give it to him? I would say this. So this is why I'm saying that I hope he gets it permanently, because I can only see it happening if a La Liga or UCL is won. I don't think the club will do it all off a Copa del Rey. But a La Liga or a UCL, I could see him getting maybe a 2-year deal, 3-year deal, right? That's what I'm saying. I want him to succeed because even though my expectations are low, I don't really want to write off the season in January, because now that essentially means that that all my watch-alongs, all my content is meaningless now. So I have to hope that he sucks, because remember, he's playing with house money. If he goes out there and if he sucks, we'll all say, yeah, I mean, it's Arbeloa. Like, that's what we expected. But if he goes out there and cooks and he shocks us, now it's a different conversation. So, you know, I look, it's my manager. I'm backing my gaffer, man. That's what I'm doing. I'm backing my gaffer.
Listen, I respect it, man. But listen, last thing we're going to just ask you before we do wrap up right now.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
If, by, realistic, let's say he doesn't do well and then, he does leave at the end of the season. Now, who do you want to see as a manager in this club? This is the important question now, right? Who is it? Like, right now, in management, realistically, do you want to be in the dugout now, right? Someone that you feel like the players will respect, the manager who Florentino will give a lot of backing to, trust enough to be like, okay, man, you control the team, you control the players, you do whatever you want.
To be fair, I'm hoping that France tells Zidane, never mind, that they don't want him. Then I'm saying, Zidane, let's do a third stint. But obviously, he's gonna go to France. I think Deschamps is done after the World Cup. I think he's done. I think Zidane get it. I do, bro. Before we got Xabi Alonso, I don't know if you know, but I was very publicly backing Klopp. I wanted Klopp.
I know you.
But at the same time, would Klopp want to come to Real Madrid? He seems comfortable at Red Bull. Does he want to leave that, office position to come to a high stressed one? I don't know. So now I'm thinking, like, who's really available, bro? I mean, like Enzo Maresca. But
what if Florentino Perez himself is the one that talks to the club and tells the club, listen, you come in.
Oh, I thought you were saying like if Perez becomes the manager.
So I'm just putting the scenario here, right? Let's say Perez sees club as the only option, goes to club is like, listen, man, right now I'm not interested, but he gives him like a project, right? Like,
I mean,
we really know that's what club likes, right? He wants.
I think if the club give Klopp the assurance that he's the manager,
he's the man, he's in charge of the signings,
I think he would come. Yes. To
be fair, I'll tell you this about club though. Club's signing ideas are not that good.
People don't talk about it.
He's good at making players better than they are. But if you remember at Liverpool, right? People
like they wanted like what? Salah, he wanted like Julian Brandt.
Salah, Mane were not his signings.
He
wanted Julian Brandt and Mario Götze.
No, but that would never change at Real Madrid. A manager will never have the final say on transfers. But I think if they tell him when it comes to this squad, in terms of who you think should be playing where and wherever, you got the final say, I think he may come. Or what about Luis Enrique? Nah, I'm fucking with you, bro.
I mean, to be fair, the guy played for Real Madrid at some point before he joined.
5 years. But then,
I'll tell you this,
but then he went to Barca.
That would be a nuke. That is one way to create a buzz. Imagine, bro. Listen, Luis Figo 2.0. Nah, man. I can't.
I mean, but would it be a Luis Figo because he played for Madrid first?
It doesn't matter, bro. My guy made his name at Barcelona and won a treble at my club, bro. How I won my last Champions League managing Real Madrid? Nah, man. Nah.
Would that make you mad?
Oh, it would make me 50 shades of mad. I'll tell you that. But I'll tell you this about Enrique, to be fair. Enrique has said that he wouldn't mind coming back at Barca. Now, I'm like, yo, listen, Flick right now, I don't know, man, because Flick doesn't really stick around for too long.
That's true. That's true. Flick is not a long. I think Flick does one more season at Barca. I think he'll do
I'm
3
just
years.
saying, bro. After this season,
But then, can you afford to bring back Luis Enrique?
But then again, Enrique himself has said he wouldn't mind coming back for a second.
Yeah, but like, what's he gonna say? Yeah, nah, never.
No. But listen, they didn't ask him if he would return. He basically said that he would love to return.
Oh, so like it wasn't like an interview
basically, I think they were asking him, his time at
okay, nah, fair enough.
He talked about his time at Barca and said, basically alluded that he would love to manage the club at some point later in the future. I'm looking at that.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I said, brother, when I heard that, I can't tell you how excited I was.
I don't want to see that.
What it is. Because you know why? Because brother, bro, this team,
I don't want to see that, bro.
Yeah, bro, and that is it's over for you guys if we bring in Enrique.
Nobody wants to see that, bro.
Different.
Nobody wants to see
bring
that.
something different. Let's be real. If he comes in, right, he's not gonna be afraid to tell any player like Yamal, all these guys, he's gonna put them in their place.
Funny enough, Omar, before we wrap, I saw somebody say, "Oh, Luis Enrique survived the Mbappe kind of like power structure, right?" But if you think about it, so you know how like they're saying that Mbappe gets like all these managers sacked, but somebody was making the point that Luis Enrique, like, he won over Mbappe, right? Like at PSG. I don't think that's true. Remember, PSG wanted Mbappe to stay. They were offering him big money. Mbappe rejected them. If Mbappe would have stayed at PSG, Luis Enrique might be a free agent right now. Enrique might be, remember, him and Mbappe were not getting along last season.
Yeah, we saw the famous video on the internet where he was sitting Mbappe down, trying to tell him to do more work, track back.
And remember, he dropped Mbappe for like a game or two. He dropped him.
Yeah,
bro.
And look, I'm gonna be very real. I don't think it's necessarily a war, because let's be real, right? It was Mbappe's choice to leave. It wasn't like he told the club, either you sack the manager or I leave. He had his mind made up. He wanted to leave PSG to go to Real Madrid, right? And luckily, I would say for Enrique, that worked out well for him, because he didn't really want to deal with Kylian much, and then he had other players that he felt like wanted to do the work. It remains now to be seen now, because you're one of the people who's kind of put Mbappe on the microscope now, because you're like, listen, we were winning before you got here. We've stopped winning since you've been here.
And PSG were not winning the treble or UCLs, and now look at
good. But brother, what has that done for me trophy-wise? And that is always, and I've always said, that's one thing I agree with you on. Individual accolades is great, but brother, I want to see trophies for my club. So if your accolades are not giving me trophies, brother, if you leave him, he's gonna bring me trophies, dude. You can leave. I don't care. I don't care about individual accolades. But yeah, listen, guys, big up to every single one of you guys who has been watching. Make sure you guys subscribe to Man Like Football Carnage, guys. If you guys haven't subscribed to him, I'm sure you guys have all subscribed to him, man. Listen, this guy's one of my homies out here in this platform, guys. You guys always can catch me on this channel, on the chaos. Listen, we all know, man, this has been an amazing week. I did cook him, even though he doesn't want to admit it, but I did cook him in this chaos, man. This brother be kicking me out because he can't handle the smoke with me, because I'm the only one that can really rattle him. But it is.
Sound good.
Big up to you guys, man. Make sure you guys smash the like button on your way out. And peace, you guys. Take care.